a certified executive coach, an award-winning leadership consultant, a global speaker and author, and you're president of the Fathers Union in Uganda. Why are so many people lonely in their old age? Today, we are here to talk about the power of investing in family relationships for a happy retirement. The power of investing in family relationships. I've been thinking about this quite a lot, and I have been talking with so many people who are feeling a lot of loneliness. Recently, a lady called me, and by the way, before I go forward, I want you to know that today, in the next few minutes, you will have an opportunity to call in. You will have an opportunity to call in. The numbers that you are going to be calling are going to be on the screen shown. You will have an opportunity to call in and answer the question that I will ask. So recently, a lady called me and said, "Are you Mr. Bakutana?" I said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "I have been given your contact to call you so that you can help me." And I said, "Well, tell me what's the issue." And she said, "I have been married for the last close to 2 decades, close to 20 years with my husband, a wonderful, hard-working professional, unfortunately, a workaholic, who has been working so hard, tirelessly, day and night, morning to evening, Monday to Sunday, January to December for the last many years, sweating it out, but not giving time to our children. I have talked with him many times. I've requested him to create time for our children, but he kept on very busy, doing his work, going to this conference and the other conference and doing this business and the other business. And now as we talk, he is sad and angry in our home. He is saying there are 2 camps in our family. Camp number 1, my children and I. Camp number 2, him and him alone. And so he is accusing me as the wife that I have taken children away from him. Yet, for the last close to 20 years, I have again and again told him to be involved in the life of the children, but he has been too busy for the 2 decades. And so they just have no relationship with him. And now that they are adults, 18, 17, 16, 15, and so on and so forth, they are starting to think for their own, for themselves. So you can't tell them, please pay attention to daddy and so on and so forth, because they just have no relationship. And so the man is starting to feel the pain of loneliness biting. Today I have a question for you, and I want us to right now start talking. I would like you to call in and tell me, in your own view, why are most people, especially men, lonely in their old age? And the number to call is right now on the screen, 0707 465 508. Or you can call 0787 447 684. The question is, why are most people, especially men, lonely in their old age? I would like you to right now get your phone right now, cue in that number and call. Let us talk. Today I want us to talk. And then after I have heard from you, I am going to share with you some very important nuggets of wisdom, some critical strategies that we need to be able to have a happy, joyful old age and happy retirement. Because the keys are now known. The keys are now known. In fact, as I talk about this, just in the next few days, my next book is coming out, titled Courageous Dads: 7 Proven Strategies for Raising Resilient Children Today. And in the introduction, I talked about this phenomenon of old age loneliness. So right now, where you are, pick your phone right now, give me that call. I am here waiting for you to tell me, why are most people, especially men, lonely in their old age? So I'll be here waiting to hear from you. So in the meantime, we need to be asking ourselves questions like, how healthy is my family? How healthy is my family? asking ourselves questions like, how healthy are my family relationships? Remember, the question is, why are most people, especially men, lonely in their old age? So call that number and let's talk as I continue these reflections. We need to be asking ourselves, now that we are married, do we have good relationships with our spouses? As a man, do you have a good relationship with your wife? As a woman, do you have a good relationship with your husband? Today, I am balancing it out. I am addressing both men and women on this critical issue of old age loneliness. You need to be asking yourself a question like, as a parent, are you close to your children at all? Especially emotionally. And meanwhile, remember, I am waiting for your call. Pick that phone, put in those numbers that you see at the bottom of your screen, and call and answer the question, why are most people, especially men, lonely in their old age? I will be waiting for your call as we continue these reflections. So come to think about even the spouses of our children. Do we have any meaningful relationship with them? I heard a story of an acquaintance of mine, quite a young gentleman who wedded his wonderful, beautiful queen. And what happened is that the mother-in-law, in other words, the mother of the wife, the mother of the new, bride, kept on passing by their home where this daughter of hers had gotten married almost every evening because she was working nearby, and asking, my daughter, actually this was a daughter-in-law, my daughter-in-law, what are you preparing for my son today? And she comes back tomorrow, okay, my daughter, what are you preparing for your husband? What? Every day she kept passing by to ask what the girl was preparing for the husband. And it was causing a trouble. I remember they had to move, to shift away from where they had been without even telling her. Later, they were even expecting their baby. They never told her. She got to know when they were just remaining with a few days to delivery. What kind of relationship do you have with the spouses of your children, especially if you are a parent of adult children? Let me once again remind you of the question we are thinking through. Why are most people, especially men, lonely in their old age? The numbers to call are on the screen. Call in right now and let us talk together. You may be having your own brothers. You may be having your own sisters. You may be having your cousins. How much do you stay connected with them? How much do you stay connected with them? Remember, the big topic of the day is investing in family relationships for a happier retirement. And the question I am throwing to you, and I'm expecting you to call right now and answer me, is why are most people, especially men, lonely in their old age? And we are just making these reflections as I wait for you to make that call. You may be having some of your family members who live far away. It could be your spouse, your very wife, your very husband. It could be your children. Maybe they live in another city. It could be your parents. They live in another part of the country. Question: how often do you call them? How often do you get in touch with them? How often do you give them a call to just say hi, to check on them, to know how they are doing? Remember, the overarching focus of this day and this program today is about the family relationships. How much we should invest in them if they are going to give us a rich and happy retirement. Old age specifically, even if I don't use the word retirement. But old age. So the question that I'm still throwing to you is, why are most people so lonely during their old age? As we continue with the reflections. You have key family relationships. I know, especially if we are talking about extended family relationships, we may not so easily keep in touch with everybody and everyone. It's quite difficult. But you often find that in your family, you have some critical relationships. You have some key people that, yeah, you are at good terms with. So, how often do you intentionally stay connected with them? Whether it is a phone call, it is an email, depending on who they are and which kind of mode of communication they are able to use, and so on and so forth. How often do you keep in touch with them? How often do you stay in touch with them? And my question is, how is all this, connected to old age, connected to happy retirement, and so on and so forth?
Hello.
Okay, we have somebody calling. Okay, who are you and where are you calling from?
Hello.
Yes, please. Share your name and where you're calling from.
Hello.
Yes, we are hearing you.
Hello.
We are hearing you. Could you please lower the volume on your own TV set so that
Hello?
you can be able to hear us? Whenever
Good evening,
you
sir.
lower the volume of your TV set. Yes, please. Hello. Your
Hello?
name and where you're calling from? I think we are not
Hello?
able. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, go right ahead.
Hello?
Yes, hello. We are hearing you. I don't know. Maybe we are having.
This is Teddy from Soroti.
Okay, say that again.
Hello?
Hello. Go ahead.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you? Biaibo.
Well done.
Yalamanoi.
Etamit biago job.
Okay, go right ahead.
I'm calling from Soroti.
Yes.
Yes, please. I'm calling from Soroti. I think the main reason why men are lonely in their old age is because they have left most of their responsibilities with the ladies.
They have left their responsibilities to ladies.
It is only ladies who attend to family issues mostly. For them, they have turned to drinking and then looking for other spouses when they even have more of them, when they really have the one they have married at homes. So, and in most cases, even the children don't even get used to them. They leave them with the mothers to take care of the children. So by the time the children succeed, they are also left. They also live with him. Yes. Because he decided to live with them with their mothers. So in most cases, they will also ignore them and decide to be with their mothers. Therefore, at the end of the day, they are left lonely just at their own places where they go. So thank you so much. I think that's the major reason to me why men mostly are lonely at their old age.
Wow. Yalamanoi Isirengedeke. That's wonderful from Soroti. Thank you very much for calling in. And you have raised a very critical aspect here. Why most people, especially men, are lonely in their old age. The issue of leaving responsibilities of the family to the woman of the house. And she has said that they resort to drinking, to looking for other women, and so on and so forth, and therefore there is no relationship. And in their old age, the children are more connected to the mom than they are to the dad. So thank you so much for raising that point. Please, the rest of you who are watching, get that phone right now and call in. The number that you are to call is right there at the bottom of your screen. The question is, why do most people, especially men, suffer from loneliness in their old age? So go right ahead and call in. So our current challenge, one of our current problems. Okay, we have another caller. Name and where you are calling from. Hello. Please lower the volume of your TV set and then you can talk with us. Okay, I think we are not able to communicate with that one. Let's continue sharing. So as I was saying, the current challenge that we have is that we are making a lot of investments in different things. We invest in houses, we invest in shares, we invest in treasury bills, we invest in treasury bonds, we invest in land, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to investing in our family relationships, we are fundamentally bankrupt. We invest in all these things. We put plantations of trees and plantations of bananas and dairy farms. Yes, hello. Kale nawe jebale sebo.
Ye.
Ani ono kubidde wa?
Ono Mukisa Jona.
Ye Jona.
Sebo nkulabye osomesa ku mulamu ogwo. Oli ku TV wano nkulaba.
Genda ku nsonga. Tuke ku nsonga.
Okweyanza weebalire ddala, weebalire Sebo ddala.
Kale webale kusiima mwami Jona. Yeah, Jonah is simply calling in and appreciating the program. We also appreciate that. All right. So as I was saying, we invest in many different things, many different investment vehicles like land, like houses, shares, bills and bonds, but we don't invest in our family relationships. We don't invest in family relationships. Yet investment in the institution of the family is our buffer. It is our foundational insurance, if I can use that word, for a happier old age. Investment in those relationships. Remember the question that I am sharing with you that I would like you to call in and answer is, why are most people, especially men, lonely in their old age? Now, when we say family relationships, we are talking about three things. Then, actually two. We are talking about the nucleus family and also the extended family. When we say family relations. Concerning the nucleus, we are talking about the wife, the husband, the biological children, maybe the adopted children you could be having in your family, and some maybe house helps, housemaids, and so on and so forth. That's the nucleus family relationship. And then on the side of the extended, we have our brothers, we have our sisters, our parents, our in-laws, our grandparents, our grandchildren. All those are family relationships.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
This is Reverend Joseph from Soroti.
Reverend Joseph, Bible.
How are you?
Yoga swa?
Yoga no.
Yala manoi.
Tamit.
Isile rengedeke. So Reverend Joseph from Soroti, go right ahead and share with us. Why are most people, especially men, lonely in their old age, according to you?
I appreciate the program. According to me, is that one, the character of the man.
Yes.
Your character will make you in turn to be lonely if your character is not tuned to your family, to your wife, to your children. Mm-hmm. Your character can turn to abuse your wife, to harass your wife, even before the children. and the children get to know that this character of our father is not good. So they grow with the mother, and the character of the mother will shift all the characters. So when you grow old, you are left alone. I have had so many old men that have been left alone.
Mm-hmm.
Their husband, their wives, and their children have left them
Yes.
alone in their own their own houses.
Okay.
Second issue is that when you were working, you did not give time for your family.
Mm-hmm.
You thought work is your wife,
Yes.
work is your children, then you neglect. You have no time for your children.
Yes.
Now the children, they're growing with the mother, and the mother is now with the children. For you go for your work, you attend to your work,
Yes.
and when the time of retirement comes, you have the work has broken your relationship with your wife.
Okay.
Sometimes the character goes both. The character of the mother and the character of the man. If the character of the mother is not good, it leads to...
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Reverend Joseph from Soroti in Eastern Uganda, for sharing these very passionate points. One, the character. If the character is bad, the old age will be lonely. And secondly, not giving time for the family because we are busy working. That will also alienate us from our family. That's very wonderful. Isirengedeke, Reverend Joseph. Do we have another caller? Hello. Okay. So, relationships are truly very important and they can't grow unless we invest in them. And this topic is very relevant today because the current reality is so glaring. For example, 33.3% of retirees in Uganda die within the first 2 years of their retirement. The biggest cause is stress. The biggest cause is stress. And this increasing phenomenon of the lonely retirees is really getting to the nerves of so many different people. No more work colleagues that somebody was used to having at the workplace. Now he's back at home, retired, but no relationships at all. Because, just like we heard from Soroti, 2 people from Soroti. 1, the responsibilities were left to one spouse. 2, the character was not good. And 3, there was no time given to the family. And that causes a huge, huge problem. In fact, we even have some people who are very rich, but emotionally ravaged senior citizens. Rich as far as money is concerned, but they are very lonely in their old age, which becomes a big challenge. Some of them, they call their children who maybe live abroad or who live in other cities asking for help, and when the children are not able to offer the help as soon as the parents need it, they almost start to curse them. But you see, there was a relationship. Hello, somebody's calling?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm fine.
Who is this that is
You're
calling and where are you
speaking to
calling?
Jonah from Soroti.
Pardon?
You're speaking to Jonah from Soroti Diocese.
Jonah from Soroti.
Yes.
Interesting. Soroti today.
For me, what I'm seeing as a problem is always when mothers are more involved with the issues of raising the children, and possibly when you have disagreements with the lady,
Yes.
most ladies tend to influence children to look at a man as
Yes.
a problem.
Oh.
Instead of nurturing a child,
Yes.
and instead of maybe not involving the child into the affairs of parents, but instead they bring the children as their backup.
Yeah.
So that is what always brings loneliness in most men. Thank you very much.
Oh, Yalamanoi, Sirengedeke. Thank you so much, Jonah from Soroti. Today, Soroti, you are making my day. All the calls are coming from Soroti. Apart from one from the earlier Jonah that was here in central Uganda. So, Jonah is bringing in the aspect of disagreement or conflicts between the husband and the wife, where especially the wife may highly likely be in a position to tilt the forces of power in the home towards herself and away from the man. Conflicts that are not resolved. That's a huge thing. Okay, we have another caller. Your name and where you are calling from?
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. This is Namgang Susan from Butaleja.
This is who?
Namgang Susan from Butaleja.
Butaleja.
Yes.
All right.
It's not interesting. They actually...
Go ahead, please.
I think it's not investing in their children.
Yes.
Because if they invest in their children, they need to when they are at an old age. They use it for themselves instead of children being a burden to them. Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yes. And also having any business because some of them start they will take and back in the business.
I'm really struggling to hear this point of my sister from Butaleja. The line is not so clear. I hope we can be able to have it technically worked on very well. But I want to thank you for making the effort to call. Please probably call again. The line should be clearer. Okay. We have another caller online. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, please. How are you?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm okay. This is Evans from Northern Uganda.
Evans from Northern Uganda.
Yeah, I'm calling from here, Agago district, which borders Karamoja here.
Yes, please. Kopango.
And we are always following, sir.
Kopango.
Yeah, so for me, what I can say, the problem is both sides.
Yes.
Though we can't rule out that men are always the problem.
Yes.
But let me start with men. Men have not fully activated the relationship within their family,
Okay.
especially between their children. But also, in as much as men are always breadwinners, they always go out, they are not always at home.
Yes.
But women have not taken that step of cultivating the relationship between the children and their fathers.
Okay.
Whereby they supposed to endeavor through their effort
Yes.
to make sure that these children at least talk to their father on phone, at least to make sure they visit him, they take their children to visit their father at the place of work.
My brother Evans, when you
Yes,
say
please.
them calling the father, visiting the father, where is the father? I thought the father is supposed to be at home.
In case the father is working from a bit far,
Okay.
yeah, so the mother should endeavor at least before the children sleep, or before they go back to school or what. At least that step should be taken.
Yes.
You know, women have made it in some of them, or actually many of them. They make sure that they corrupt their children. Most of them have corrupted their children
Yes.
Of course, I started with the disclaimer that men have not cultivated their relationship, but there are some women who have deliberately changed, corrupted the minds of their children.
Yes.
That they usually tell their children that we see your father is not here, I'm the one who cares for you. Even when the father sends money for school fees, it is these women who even claim that it is that they are the ones who are paying for these children for school fees, buying for food and other things.
So why doesn't the dad pay the fees directly when the children are seeing? Why is it that the mom is able to deceive the children that she's the one who paid the fees, yet it is the dad? Does that mean that the dad actually did not come physically to do the work? He's only sending money and is not present? Okay, Evans is offline, but thank you so much, Evans. Poyomatek, thank you very much for calling, and you've raised very important issues. Not building a relationship with children, but also lack of communication between children and those parents, or maybe specifically the father who may be working far away from home. Those are critical points to think about. Thank you very much, Evans. So here are some quick investment principles for family relationships that we need to think about. Number one, wherever you plant a seed is where you will harvest a fruit. So we need to keep remembering that where we plant a seed is where we harvest a fruit. If all your seed time was planted at the job, you will harvest great things from the job or from the workplace. If you sowed all your time, all your efforts, everything emotionally, in your business, you will harvest a lot from the business. If you sow your seed of time and effort and energy and thought, creativity, in your family, you will harvest serious fruit from your family. Wherever you plant your seed is where you will harvest a fruit. It's a principle of life. And secondly, what you sow is what you reap. That is a principle of life. It is a law of nature, and it is a spiritual principle in Galatians. Whatever you sow is what you reap. So family is like an incubator. Whatever you put in, the family gets it and expands it and gives it back to you. So if you give your family some happiness, the family gets that little happiness you've given to them, incubate it, and give you back a flood of joy. Family is an incubator. If you give them pain, disturbance, hurting, they will get that pain, incubate it, and bring you back here in your old age. What you sow is what you reap. Principle number 3, when you retire, you will reap what you sowed for years, but now you reap it all at once. Even if I don't use the word retire, when you reach old age, you will not only reap what you sowed, but you will now reap it all at once in abundance. If it was beautiful kind of seeds you sowed in your family, you will reap it in abundance. If you sowed bad seeds, you will now reap them in abundance all at once.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, caller.
Yeah, this is still at Namgang Susan from Butaleja, making my points clear.
Yes, Susan from Butaleja.
Yes, I was telling you about parents not investing in their children. As in, if you pay for them fees, at least in the future when you are older now,
yes,
the little you have, it will be all for yourself and they will not be a burden to you.
Mm-hmm.
And also not preparing for retirement age.
Yes.
Some of them retire at 60 and tend to open businesses when they're already 60 or after 60 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this is also one of the causes.
Yes.
Then also, I had you talking about what you reap is what you sow.
What you sow is what you reap.
I had what you sow is what you reap.
Mm.
Some parents can invest in their children, but there are very few who intend to give back to their parents when they at least make it up in life. But some other children tend to divert from what they can do. That's all I can say. Still, Namgang from Butaleja.
Yes. Thank you so very much, my sister from Butaleja. I'm glad you were able to call back, and now the line was clear and we have heard your points. And I have captured 3 major points. 1, parents not investing in their children. And so later in old age, they have nothing to invest. They never invested in the children. And secondly, you've talked about not preparing for retirement. And then you find that somebody is opening a business, starting a company at 60, 65, 70, when things are tough. But you've also turned something here that I have appreciated indeed, which I would want to call the indisciplined abandonment of parents by the children. So yes, this man or this woman invested in the children, paid school fees, gave them time, was there and present, but somewhere, somehow, as they grow up themselves, the children, they abandon their own parents. Whichever reason, we don't know, but that also happens. And indeed, that also qualifies as a very important point why a number of people, especially men, are lonely in their old age. So thank you very much, my sister Susan from Butaleja. So we've talked about 3 critical investment principles in relationships. 1, where you plant a seed is where you harvest a fruit. 2, what you sow is what you reap. 3, when you reach old age, you will reap what you sowed all at once. And now 4, what is left to itself is always deteriorating. Whatever you leave will always be deteriorating. So it means that for you to have a return on your investment, you have to put intentional investment in the relationships of your family. But if you leave your family just as it is, the relationship with the family will be deteriorating. It won't be growing automatically. Just try to imagine if you have a garden and you don't cultivate it, you don't dig, you don't work on it. I don't think you will find there wonderful fruits that will have grown. No. Instead, you will find very tall weeds. Anything that is left to itself grows weeds, not fruits. That's a big principle. And principle number 5, family connection is not like a wild tree. It grows with care. Family connection, family bonding is not like a wild tree. That bonding with the family grows only when you care for it. And principle number 6, whatever you feed grows, whatever you starve dies. So if you feed your family relationships, they will grow. If you starve your family relationships, they will die. Whatever you feed grows. Whatever you starve dies. You still have the opportunity to call in right now and answer the question, why are most people, especially men, lonely in their old age? As we continue these reflections, the number is going to be at the bottom of your screen in just a minute. Why are most people, especially men, lonely in their old age? So principle number 7 is for you to remember that hope is very important, but it is not a strategy. Hope is important, but it is not a strategy. In other words, you can't say, I hope that in my old age, I will not be left alone, neglected, abandoned, and lonely. I hope my children will remember me. I hope my spouse will be with me. It's okay to say you hope. But just to let you know that whereas hope should never be lost, it is not a strategy. You have to put in place the right strategies in order to have strong family relations that will come handy to help you enjoy your old age, your retirement, and so on and so forth. And on that note, we just have a few minutes to come to the end of this conversation together today. What does investing in family relationships practically mean? It means 3 things. 1, it means investing in your marriage. Number 2, it means investing in strategic parenting. And number 3, it means investing in extended family relationships. Let me repeat. When we talk about investing in your family relationships for a more joyful evening of your life, we are talking about 3 critical things. We are talking about investing in your marriage, in other words, in your spouse. We are talking about investing in strategic parenting, in other words, investing in your children, but also investing in the extended family relationships. So for example, when you talk about investing in a relationship with your wife or with your husband, it is very, very, very important that you know that your spouse thrives with cultivation. If you don't cultivate the relationship you have with your spouse, it won't grow. And also, when you enter marriage, you take the whole package. So whether you like everything about your spouse or there are some things you don't like, you took the whole package. It's time to invest in this package as it is. And also, to keep remembering that when you are at home, you are a spouse and you are not a professional. That keeps reminding you that while you are at home, you attend to matters of the home. You attend to the relationship with your spouse, with your wife, with your husband. Also, it means that your spouse will keep growing and changing. So you have to keep learning him or her because changes keep happening. Different preferences, body changes, changes in the way he or she thinks, change in perspective. You know, changes happen. Yes, we have a caller online. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, we are hearing you. Who is this and where are you calling from?
This is Better from Zumbo.
I beg your pardon?
Better from Zumbo.
Well, I didn't hear that well, but go right ahead. Share your idea.
Yeah. Topic is interesting.
Hello? Okay, I think we lost that caller. We lost the call. I hope you can probably call again and we get you well. Let us also remember that it takes 2 to tango. It takes 2 to dance. Everyone is equally responsible for everything. The wife is equally responsible for what goes on in the home. The man is equally responsible for what goes on in the home, even if each one of them may have different roles and responsibilities in the family. So investing in the relationship with your spouse is very important. And sometimes even if your spouse doesn't pull their weight for you, still pull yours. And that's a big principle when it comes to investing in family relationships, especially concerning investing in a relationship with your spouse. Marriage, I often see it as a bicycle chain. If you don't oil the chain will break. So keep oiling the chain of your relationship with your wife or with your husband. Don't take your spouse for granted. Instead, be intentional on nurturing your friendship with your wife or your husband. Invest in vacations once in a while. Why not? Go out there, stay for some number of days. Invest in that marriage. Invest in your spouse. Be deliberate on dating each other. You can even have some spontaneous sparklighters, a cup of tea on an evening, eat out at lunch, have a retreat over a weekend. These things, they light the spark in the marriage. And they keep the relationship going to the point that by the time you reach in old age, you are, on good terms and none of you is feeling loneliness because you have been investing in your relationship with your spouse. And even in matters of the bedroom, give them serious attention because they are part of building the relationship with your spouse. It would be important that you are the person who affirms your wife, who affirms your husband with positive words of encouragement and inspiration. That also adds a brick to the relationship that you have with your spouse. Feel free to embrace frequent physical touch in as many ways as possible. because that also releases endorphins and other very important hormones in your body that continues to cement the bond of friendship with your spouse. So if you go together to a function, sit together, hold hands, and so on and so forth. Hug each other as often as possible. Tap each other on the back. Give each other some rub, some massage, etc. Investing in your relationship with your spouse. And as sometimes you go through tough times of life, demonstrate patience towards your spouse. That makes a whole line of a difference. I hope you will remember their special days. I hope you remember your wife's birthday. I hope you remember your husband's birthday. I hope you remember the anniversary, the wedding anniversary. Do something on those days. Give each other some gifts. It could be small, it could be big. That flower, that card, that nice food, calling home and say, my wife, don't cook this evening. I'm coming back home with food. Those kinds of things. Invest in that relationship if it is going to be helpful for you. And remember to have more time to converse together, to be kind and understanding to one another, and even pray for and pray with your spouse. So I am only giving that slight detail on the relationship with your spouse. Probably next time when we have more time, we will also look at investing in the relationship with your children and also investing in your relationship with the extended family. Here is the point, ladies and gentlemen. When we are preparing for old age, we always think about money and money only. And so we invest in these things that we can get finances from. We invest in land, we invest in houses, buildings, we invest in, this whole world of real estate. We invest in shares, in treasury bills, in treasury bonds. We invest in unit trusts. We invest in agriculture, in all that kind of thing. And we say we are preparing for old age. But we always forget to prepare for old age by building strong relationships, especially in our own families. As you can see today, I'm not talking about relationships with our friends. Let me tell you, a time will come and your friends will go away. But your family is what you can be sure of, that they will still be there. And so today the clarion call is this.
Just one wife.
Invest in your relationship with your family members. Give them time, love them, appreciate them, be patient with them, demonstrate understanding, invest time in them, invest energy, invest effort, invest love into them, put money into them. Make sure your family relationships are growing and they are getting deeper. And later, as you continue to grow, even in your old age, you will have a close, a band, let me call it a band of close relationships that are right in your family, that can be trustable, that can be dependable, that can be reliable. Don't only prepare money, also prepare relationships. Until next time, this has been the Inspired Family Leader Program with Samuel A. Bakutana, having these reflections on why most people, especially men, are lonely in their old age, largely because they forgot to invest in their relationships, particularly in their family, as they were investing in landed property and other sources of finances. Go and invest in your family relationships.
Just one wife. That you need the leadership skills of a general.
Yes.
To lead an army of one woman.
So we have to take a lot of pain, a lot of effort to teach children how to get along with one another.
Your raw material is money.
Of course.
But it is not your money.
It is not
That
yours.
is the biggest challenge. So if you do not fear God, you will end up misappropriating this money and taking it to be your own. Yet it is just what you're using to do the work that you're doing.
So ego is very dangerous to me, and we should do